Well, hello. So now I'm starting my second video for first-time travelers to Istanbul. This video will focus on getting around the city, shopping, where to stay, where to eat, some basic information on the language and culture, and essentially uh, also some recommendations of where to stay, where to shop, and where to eat as well as and information of those areas also. So to start out with the basic language and culture of Istanbul, the biggest problem is that most people in Istanbul do not speak English. Most of them will only be able to speak Turkish. So I highly recommend that you have Google Translate um, to communicate with the average person on the street if you have to, or in the shops or in restaurants. In and around Sultan Ahmed, which is the tourist area and other tourist areas of the city, the shopkeepers in the restaurant and people in the restaurants will speak English, so that will not necessarily be an issue. The issue will be if you want to venture out into the other parts of the city, the non-touristy parts of the city. In which case Google Translate it becomes very important. Now Turkish is written in Latin, so for my American viewers, reading the language is not difficult. For my Pakistani viewers, there are a lot of common Turkish and Urdu words. Obviously, as I mentioned, Turkish is written in the Latin script, not the Arabic script. Um, you will go and sorry about that. You will go and notice uh, many words which are similar written in Latin, but spelled slightly differently. I'll give you an example. The word derzi, tailor, in Turkish is pronounced as terzi, so it's spelled Terzi. In English, derzi would be spelled Darzi. So many common words, you might be able to notice that when you go there. The old Ottoman Turkish alphabet was an Arabic script, very fairly similar to the script which Urdu is written in. Also, for my Pakistani viewers, if in your visit there, if they happen to find out any Turkish person in a shop or the restaurant on the street happens to find out that you're Pakistani, you will get extra special treatment and uh, the Turks in general are extremely hospitable and friendly people. Expect them to become even more hospitable and friendly once they find out you're Pakistani, based on obviously the long and deep friendship that Pakistan and Turkey has enjoyed over the years. So, with that about language and history, language and culture rather, some facts about how to get money and how to get around the city. Um, There are ATM machines all over the place in Istanbul. There's no need to go to a money changer as per se um, uh, to exchange your foreign currency. The easiest way is to go to an ATM machine. They're very reliable. The three largest Turkish banks will have ATM machines all over the place. The three major reputable Turkish banks are Akbank, Guarantee Bank, and Türkiye İş Bank. They'll have ATM machines all over the place. Some foreign banks have ATM machines there as well. Some European banks, BNP Paribas, I've seen ATM machines there. HSBC will also have ATM machines there as well. Though I believe HSBC is planning to pull out of Turkey, from what I've read. Uh, so not, I'm sure their operations will be bought out by someone else. So no need to go to money changer, go to an ATM machine, pull your money up from there. All shops and restaurants will accept credit and debit cards. So there's no need. You can obviously you can have cash, and use it, but it's not necessary. It's very convenient that all the shops and restaurants do have credit cards there. Now, getting around the city, Istanbul has a very efficient public transportation system, expanding every day. Excuse me. Um, with regards to the expansion of the various lines of the Istanbul metro, the completion of the Marmaray line, which is the rail connection underneath um, the Bosphorus Straits from connecting Europe and Asia as a suburban rail line, um, and of course the ferry system and the tram system as well. Recently, under the recently elected new mayor of Istanbul, Ekrem Imamoglu, he has made some on the weekends some uh, public transport which is operated 24 hours a day. So some of the ferry stops and some of the metro stops operate 24 hours a day on the weekends. You may want to consult some tour books, or online information, depending on what the actual timings of mass transit are. But it's a fairly efficient system. I mean, nothing beats going from Europe to Asia on the ferry, or even on the Marmaray, or on the tram system. Now, since most people will be staying in Sultanahmet, there are three main key nodes of transportation. Are going to be the Sultanahmet tram station, the Aminoinu ferry docks, and the Sirkeci station of the Marmaray if you want to go to Asia on the Marmaray train, or to other parts of suburban European Istanbul. As with any major metropolitan area, they do have a single payment system for all modes of transportation: buses, ferries, trams, the metro, Marmaray, which is the Istanbul Card. Very similar to the Metro Card in New York, or similar cards we have here in Washington, D.C. for the metro system. One card for all modes of transportation. The machines are available to purchase these cards at any ferry or tram or metro or Marmaray stop. Fairly inexpensive. It's like 2 liras per trip. So very inexpensive, very useful. My previous trip, I traveled extensively using the tram and the ferries and the Marmaray, so this comes very handy. There have been reports that Istanbul wants to move to a contactless form of payment for its various mass transit systems. I did see the equipment there in the stations during my last visit, so I'm assuming they can make the shift quite easily. But as of right now, Istanbul Card is the way to go. Now, where do you want to stay in Istanbul? It becomes the question. The vast majority of the tourist sites are located in the old city, which is Sultanahmet. So Sultanahmet has a wide variety of hotels, bed and breakfasts, where you can stay in, which you can stay in. Also, there's the Airbnb option as well. Depending on your budget, where you want to stay, most hotels will offer free breakfast in the morning, or they may even have a restaurant on site. So, depending on what you want to do. I have a personal favorite. The hotel I usually stay in is the Turkoman Hotel. Their website is www.turkoman, Turkoman hotel.com. I've been staying with them since 2007. It's a family-run hotel, very hospitable. Staff is excellent. The owners are very friendly. You cannot beat the location. It's right across from the Blue Mosque. If you get a room which is facing the Blue Mosque, when you wake up in the morning, you can see the Blue Mosque. Obviously, you can hear the azan or the call to prayer from there as well. They do offer transport from Istanbul Airport also. Uh, it's an old uh, Ottoman mansion dating to the late 1800s, which was converted to a hotel. It's a very nice location. I highly recommend it. Um, but of course, everyone has their own choices. I mean, you can choose my suggestion or choose any other suggestion you may find. You can obviously Google and look on TripAdvisor for the hotel and the price range you're looking at. There are no conventional hotels from the chains in the old city. There is a Four Seasons in Sultanahmet, which I've not been to, I've not seen, which was been converted from an old Ottoman prison. Um, if you want to stay in those type of establishments, like a Marriott or Hilton uh, or Sheraton, they are on they are on the European side, but they are on the areas where of around Taksim, Besiktas, uh, Beyoğlu, Nişantaşı, Levent, Maslak, on the Asian side as well. For those of you who want to stay in a higher end accommodation, as I mentioned, there is a Four Seasons in Sultanahmet. There is also another Four Seasons uh, after Dolmabahce Palace, right on the Bosphorus Sea. I've never been to that hotel. I've walked past it. Looks very nice. Um, the other option for high-end staying is, which I personally would recommend. I've never stayed there, but I have been there. Uh, is the Chiron Kempinski Hotel, Chiron Palace Kempinski Hotel. It is right on the Bosphorus Sea. It's the most prestigious hotel in Istanbul. Excellent location. It's a former Ottoman palace created and renovated into a hotel. They have an excellent high tea, which they serve from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the evening. I highly recommend that you do, even if you don't stay at the Chiron Palace. I highly recommend you go to the hotel for the high tea. You have wonderful views of the Bosphorus Sea, Bosphorus Straits rather, from the hotel, and the grounds in the back are the views are absolutely outstanding of Europe. Sorry, of Asia, of the Bosphorus Bridge as well. Um, Now for restaurants, the tendency obviously now is to go into Google and Yelp. The problem with Google and Yelp is that it's primarily going to give you the ratings of restaurants of foreigners who've gone to those restaurants. So they're most likely going to be tourist trap restaurants. Um, I highly suggest that you download an app called Culinary Backstreets um, from the Apple App Store. I don't know if they have a Google version or not. They also have a website as well for Culinary Backstreets. You can Google it to see what the exact uh, website name for that is. Culinary Backstreets gives suggestions of restaurants where tourists do not go to, foreigners do not go to, where locals go to. The best meals I've had in Istanbul are based off of recommendations from Culinary Backstreets. They'll give recommendations from every place in the Grand Bazaar, in Sultanahmet, in Beyoğlu, in Taksim, in Besiktas, in Kadıköy on the Asian side. I highly recommend. The restaurants are absolutely outstanding. Some of them are literally hole in the wall places, but the food is it's wonderful. Once again, these are places where English is not going to be spoken at, so you can make sure you have Google Translate to use there. But I highly recommend Culinary Backstreets. I believe they do charge a fee to download the Istanbul part of the app. So I think it's $3 or something like that. But I highly recommend it. For shopping, so for shopping, obviously being a large international city, you will have the type of tourist trap places to shop for trinkets or souvenirs or whatever. Really, the two major places. Now, Istanbul also has the high-end shopping malls as well, where the international, all types of international stores of high-end goods. Places like Art Marquez, the Zorlu Center, um, and others high-end shopping malls like that. Canyon, I believe, is another one, uh, where you can find all sorts of goods which you can find in your home countries as well. So, especially for my U.S. travelers, if you want to buy good souvenirs, uh, the two places which I highly suggest. I'll start off with the spice market, or the Mr. Charshe. This is a place where you can buy food items from, all different types of chai, nuts, dry fruits, Turkish delights. You can get from there. It's worth taking a look. It's a bit touristy trap, but it's a good location to get these types of items. Um, and it's a very wonderful experience there too. You'll get to taste the various items in each shop, where the shop owners will get you to try to buy them. So that is one place to go. The other place to go, obviously, which is one of the main tourist attractions in Istanbul, is the Kapalı Çarşı, or the Grand Bazaar, the largest covered bazaar in the world. No trip to Istanbul, personally for me, is complete without making a visit there. Anything under the sun you can buy there, literally. Um, Jewelry, souvenirs, clothes, leather jackets, carpets, Turkish souvenirs, old books, and kind of antique souvenirs, which is in the old covered book sellers market, which is slightly outside of the Grand Bazaar. Uh, it's an experience beyond imagination, literally. Um, so anything you want there, you can literally get. Now, the key thing is that when people go to Istanbul, they want to buy carpets. It's either carpets and baklava are the two main things which I get inquiries about. If you want to buy carpets, uh, the one most of the carpet sellers in the Grand Bazaar or in the city, they're going to charge you in dollars. And also, the other problem is that they'll lure you into your shop. They'll show you pictures of the various dignitaries, boasting that they've sold to this senator or this dignitary or whatever. The best carpet shop I've dealt with in Istanbul, I have bought items from twice, um, is Adnan and Hassan. They're located in the Grand Bazaar. They have a website. It is www.adnan, Adnan, and Hassan, Hasan.com. You can also Google them up if I on Google as well. Adnan and Hassan Carpets. They are very friendly, very knowledgeable. Hassan, who is the owner and the proprietor of the shop, and his assistant Errol are very friendly, very knowledgeable. They're some of the primary customers are the American embassy in Ankara and the American consulate in Istanbul. They're very honest. They quote you prices for the carpets in Turkish lira, not in dollars. If you pay in cash, they do give a 10% cash discount. You can sit there for hours looking at various sizes of carpets. You can describe to them what type of design you want, what type of size they want. They'll bring those carpets out for you. Obviously, with the Turkish hospitality, they'll offer you chai or water or anything to drink. They're very friendly, very knowledgeable. If you want to buy a carpet from Istanbul, I highly, highly recommend go to Adnan and Hassan. They're located in the Grand Bazaar, as I said. They have a website, which I noted earlier. I'll also listed below in the comments as well. I highly, highly recommend. For baklava, there is only one place I suggest for baklava, and that is Karaköy Gululu. It's located in Karaköy, which, if you're going from Sultanahmet, you can take the tram to the Karaköy stop, and then from there it's about a 10-minute walk through a number of labyrinth of alleyways and streets to get there. They have a cafe there. You can purchase baklava by the box, the best baklava I've had in Turkey, and I love Turkish baklava personally. All sorts of different types: walnut, pistachio, different types which you can get there. Um, you can buy by the box. Each box is, I think, if you buy a larger box is a kilo. Excuse me. You can buy smaller box as well. They have a cafe there, so you can eat baklava. You can make your purchase and eat baklava there. After buying your boxes of baklava to take back with you for friends or for your own consumption. Um, it is it's very it's absolutely out of this world baklava. There's no doubt about that. Um, that's my suggestion for baklava. They have a website also, karakoyguluolu.com, KARAGULUOGLU.com. I believe they have an English translation on the website um, as well. So this completes my second video. Next video will actually take you on what to do on a day by day basis based on a 5 to 6 day visit to Istanbul. We'll start off with the next video dealing with how to see the main sites of Istanbul of Sultanahmet, which is where all the main tourist attractions are at. So until then, I will see you on the next video.